Let's jack it up and check all these components. We'll air these tires up. And then start the alignment. Jacking this front end up, get this position off the ground. Look at this tire wear. Got some outside edge wear from the 55-degree wheel cut. Tire feels nice and smooth. This truck was aligned 8-9 months ago or so, but she's pretty damn tight. Hub oil's good. No movement in the kingpins. All that feels good. Crank it up. Turn your wheel all the way to the right and then shut it off. I want to show you something. All right, what he's going to do here, he's going to crank it up. We're going to turn this wheel all the way to the right. And then I'm going to show you guys what 55-degree wheel cut does. Now this wheel's cut to the right. See how far right this wheel turns. This tire gets up on the outside edge. When it gets up on that outside edge and you've got the wheels cut past 40, 42 degrees, and you go to 55, and this ain't all the way because it backed off of the stop a little bit. But when you're in a hard turn, making a right-hand turn, this wheel, okay, it wiggles. Tie rod assembly is coming straight across from the other side to this Ackerman arm. So when you're pointed with your wheel straight ahead, it's stable, okay, both wheels. The other side, you've got your gearbox, pitman arm, drag link, and everything over there adds a lot of stability. Over here, all you have is the tie rod end, which is a ball joint, okay? So when it's turned all the way like that, the wheel's all the way up on its edge, and you're turned, the tie rod assembly and the Ackerman arm gets parallel with each other and essentially turns this ball joint into a double jointed elbow and allows this to wiggle. So now when you're making that right turn that hard and you've got the weight on it, it's wiggling in the tire about a finger width in. That's why we can spot this every time. About a finger width in from both shoulders, there's no steel in the tire. The steel belt runs from here to here. There's no steel around this corner. It's just rubber there. And then your sidewall, the casing steel starts about here and goes down to the bead wrap. So when you're making that hard right turn and when you're in reverse going against the caster also, it's moving even more. And that's why you're getting this outside edge wear on this truck with no feathered wear. When these tires start to wear like that, and you see that, typically about 60,000 miles, want to get them rotated over. And then about another 60,000 miles, you'll start seeing it on the one you put here. And then your next rotation, you want to take them, cross-rotate them again, because they'll be back down pretty even in 30 seconds. Usually, the driver's side's going to wear a little faster than this side. So when you get to 2 seconds difference between the two steer tires, that's when we recommend rotating, or when you start to see this wear. But on your third rotation, cross-rotate them again, and take this one, flip it on the wheel, and put it on here. So put this to the inside. This wear, this tire is shorter than the other tire, the rest of the tire. So this wear will create a drag. And that's why you went from driving good to starting to get a little bit of a right pull and it getting worse as this wears down even farther. So let me bump this up just a little bit. All right, so you can see all that movement. And if you look down in there, you can see how the tie rod assembly, see how it's parallel, getting more parallel with the Ackerman arm that comes off the back of the knuckle. And watch it when I see how there's that much movement.
Yeah, actually moving the whole bar.
Right. Because they get parallel and allows it to wiggle. So let's fire it up. We'll spin it, get them back straight, and then I'll let her down. So this wear is not an alignment issue. This is 55-degree wheel cut and making hard right turns. Tires off the ground. This is a new tire. No play in the tie rod ends. Drag links tight. Put this with the valve stem up so I can air these tires up. Check the bottom, see if we got up and down movement. Nothing. Pop the cap. Got hub oil. We're about 107. That's after it being hot, so it's be a little bit lower than that. And these are G rated. See what axle's in here. 12,500 pound axle. So you're good with the G's. You only got a 12.5 axle. 120. Yeah, that's the advantage of LCAP. Somebody off of the street, I mean, you get them for $390. Somebody on the street's getting them for $650, $700 or more. Yeah. All right, so everything on the front end is all tight. So what I'm going to do while we're here, I'm going to shoot your rears and see what we got there. Put the target up here. And being we've had the front end off of the ground already, after we'll check the rears and adjust them, then we'll, you can leave it there. I'll come back to this side. Front drive axle. We are shooting a 2. Rear drive axle. I'm shooting a 3. Then I'm going to go to the driver's side. Rear drive axle. I am 2 3/4. Okay, yeah. I'm going to call it 3. 2.5. All right. So the front drive axle, driver's side, 2.5 here, 2 on the passenger side. This axle, I got a 1/2-inch thrust angle on this axle, which is what we want. All right. Sometimes we may go just a little touch more, a 30-second shim on this front drive axle with these Freightliners. The rear drive axle, I'm gonna call it a 3 on this side, 3 on the other. So this one's shooting straight ahead. So we're gonna throw a shim in this position right here to give this a little right thrust and create our cone over here. So we'll do that. And then we're gonna back the truck up. Actually, I gotta measure the centering, make sure we're still good. So let me go grab my tape measure and I'll be right back on this side. Measuring, we're gonna make sure this axle is centered in the truck. Run my tape measure right up here to the flange on the frame. Hold my tape down tight on the inside of the tire. I look down the sidewall at my tape measure, and I'm right at 29 inches. So, 29 over here. I'll mark it on the tire so I remember. Rear axle up to the frame. Hold the tape down tight. Look down the sidewall of the tire. We are 29 and we're going to call that 5/8. Now we go to the other side. Tape measure up to the frame of the truck. We look down the side. 29 and 5/8. Front one, we're up in there tight. We're going to hold it down. I'm 29 and about an 1/8. So this axle, 29 and 5/8, 29 and 5/8. Axles centered in the truck. This one, 29 and an 1/8 and 29. We're within a 1/4 inch, and that's what we want. But we can take the camera. I've already done this truck. Okay, so last time we saw this truck, we already centered the axle. See these shims right here and right there? I've already put 2/8 inch shims on each one of them bolts, pushing this axle to the left because it was out of square. So I've already done that. And the front drive axle had already been squared up also. Over there, you can see, and those bolts over there, see that tab of that shim sticking up? I had already centered this up before. So now I know I need to shim that axle up. So I'm going to go grab my impact and a shim and shim that up. We'll just spin all that corrosion out. Well, the front axle's good. It's 1.5 inch left on the targets. This axle was shooting straight forward. We want to get a little bit of right thrust in this axle. So and I don't know how many miles you've run since we've done it last, but while we're here, we're just gonna throw this little bit in, but you get some bushing wear, these rough roads, and it'll change just a little bit. So push this axle forward, create a gap in there. Gonna add the shim in here. Take the porta power out. And then we tighten her all back up. Okay, so we're done with that. We'll take the camera back up front. Before we do, let me go ahead and throw this on the, check the caster here. Let me bring it, yeah. See? Yeah, we'll get it rolled back. All right, digital level on the frame. I'm gonna zero it out. It's zeroed. Now we're gonna go down here and set it on the axle pad. We're right at 5.4. 5.4 the other side, 5.6 over here. I can really reduce that caster and we can get you that better ride hitting all them bumps up there. So, all right, now we'll set it up and we'll get a toe measurement on the steer axle. We can back her up about 2 truck lengths or so. We at least want to get 3 tire revolutions. And we've got plenty of tire revolutions. We're going to come back forward, roll it to a stop. He's got it locked down. So now I'm going to grab my QCTs out of the van. All right, straps at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Front is even with the front of the wheel. Bottom's even with the bottom of the wheel. That one's on. Turn it on. All right, get this one here lined up.
This is where I was watching your nuts. See how far up you are here on this one?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
other
yeah.
one is back there.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
why
back there
asking.
because I can see that laser right there that shoots from that one. It has to line up on this dot, so we have to move this one. It don't have to be on the dot, but we need it on that vertical line. And I try to get them right there on the dot. So we're up there, we're on the dot. Now we'll go to the other side, and the other side will give us our reading. So, put this over here. Yeah. 3 1/4. Yeah, it's probably hard for the camera to pick it up. And 2. All right, and the first time we checked this axle was at a 2 over here. It's marked on the tire. This one was at a 3. We're at a 3 1/4 now after me shimming it up. So we know we got a repeatable measurement on that front drive axle. We backed it up, we rolled it back forward to a stop, shot it with the laser, and we got the same thing. So this rear axle now, and we've already put a shim in this. We're going to call that 2. So I'm going to swap that 16th shim out with a 32nd that we put in. We're right on 2 1/2. And that's where we were when we shot it the first time. So we got a repeatable measurement. So I'm going to swap out that shim with a 32nd. Take that 16th out because it went a little more than what I want. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to hang my bars up on the front and check that toe. All right, taking a 32nd or 16th out of each bolt. We're swapping it with a 32nd. Now a little bit, yes, it does make a difference. Most shops would have left that alone. And well, most shops, they'd have shimmed up and done their thing, took your money, sent you down the road. They don't recheck anything. Make sure they got the adjustment they were looking for. Okay. So the rear of the truck should be done. Yeah, now we're gonna pull out the, they're still up there. I still got the bars with the fish hooks and the chains. It's not? All right. Bars hanging there. We're gonna tape measure over. See, that bar doesn't have any slots in it. This one does, to put our tape measures into.